Grazie Presidente. Vedo
Thank you,
dalla
President.
lista degli interventi per
From the
questo
list of
pomeriggio per uno dei
speakers on this
punti che abbiamo
afternoon,
successivi di
and
discussione,
on the
cioè la situazione in
following
Ucraina,
points,
per l'appunto
we
che
have
l'onorevole
the
Buonanno non è
point on
iscritto a parlare, lo invito forse se
Ukraine.
vuole
Mr.
parlare della
Buonanno
situazione in
isn't on
Ucraina
the speaking
a
list for the
venire in
Ukraine point.
quest'Aula
Perhaps he
tra
would like to
qualche ora
come
e discutere in
and
quella
put his
sede.
name
Io
on the
sarò
list if
qui,
he
non
wants
so se lui ci
to
sarà.
speak about that. He can come back in an hour or so
Let
and speak
me
on that.
say that many of you mentioned things that I mentioned in my opening remarks and that I would like to underline and to thank you for joining our voices in this respect, because I think that this is a powerful message that comes from this Parliament, from the European institutions united, and I think that this message, I hope that this message gets where it has to arrive. Some of you mentioned the fact that this is not only important for the country itself, but it's important for the region. And I would also add that it's important for the global security and stability, and that I will never, never, never accept the idea that one has to concentrate only on crises and human rights violations and conflicts that are only close to our borders, because also what happens in places that are apparently far away from us influences our security, our global stability, and we have to deal with that. It's our specific not only responsibility but interest, and I think we should all understand that in this room. Let me underline one point that was mentioned by many of you, that was reminded to us by Dr. Mukwege, the role of women in this, and the victims that are always women, girls, younger and younger and younger every time, every conflict, and children. And let me also mention the fact that there is a specific target. It's not by chance that it's always women, the first victims or the first arm in sometimes conflicts. And I can guarantee you that we are not only already working on this aspect in a specific way in this particular case in the DRC, with support to the victims, being it medical or being it legal, on the reform of the security system and on the reform of the judiciary, because we also have to face that side of the attack against women. But we are going to work more and more on the first victims of conflict and violence, which are everywhere in the world, women and children. Let me also underline, re-underline the need to be coherent, and I thank those of you that raised that. When you gave the Sakharov Prize in this room only a few months ago, this implied that our support is not only to the person but also to the work, mainly to the work of this person. And I think that now, today, I share these views. We need to guarantee protection to the person and to his work, and to a collective work, which is also a sign of hope for the country and for the region. On Louis Michel's proposal, let me say that I fully sympathise with it, and I will make sure that once I go back to Brussels, I study that with our EU Special Representative for Human Rights, Stavros Lambrinidis, to see in which ways we can support that. Let me also say that I fully support your desire to curb the links between conflict and exploitation of natural resources. I know that the Council is examining the draft resolution that was presented with the communication by the Commission, and you have my personal commitment on that. I cannot guarantee that that could be enough, but I can guarantee that you have my personal commitment on that. Per finire, fatemi usare l'italiano, perché Cecilia Kyenge ha fatto bene a ricordare in quest'Aula oggi che la morte è tornata ieri nel Mediterraneo e non soltanto ieri. Colgo l'occasione del fatto che lei ha sollevato questo tema oggi qui per dire che ho appena informato il College, la Commissione, della mia intenzione di riunire una riunione straordinaria del gruppo di commissari per l'azione esterna insieme al commissario Avramopoulos per discutere di come rivedere le nostre politiche dell'immigrazione
to see how we can review our policy and to see what instruments we have, both internally, in terms of internal policy, and our external policies, looking at countries of origin and of transit. And I intend to put this on the Foreign Affairs Council for the European Union's agenda as soon as possible. I think that the European Union should have the will and the political tools to be able to do something about these tragedies.
Vielen Dank, Frau Kommissarin Mogherini. Soweit die Debatte zur Lage in der Demokratischen Republik Kongo. Es folgt nun